Welcome back to the last part in this program. Now, burdened by debt and a real estate crash, Dubai is doing what it does best, doubling down. Just 1 month after a close brush with bankruptcy, Dubai has celebrated the opening of the world's tallest building. The glittering celebration on Monday may have been an attempt to shift the focus from Dubai's current economic troubles to a future filled with promise.
Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest skyscraper. Dubai's new landmark and a symbol of the Gulf Emirates' towering ambitions. Its height was kept a secret until Monday's inauguration. At 828 meters, Burj Khalifa dwarfs the previous record holder in Taiwan, the Taipei 101, by well over half. The 160-floor tower took $1.5 billion and 5 years to build. It will have the world's first Armani hotel, the world's highest swimming pool, the highest observation deck, and the highest mosque.
We build the highest peaks with the highest care. We invest for the human being, and today the Emirates draws a point of light in the map of the new world. Every high point that was built by man should be named after the biggest names. And I now declare the Burj Khalifa bin Zayed open.
The tower's original name was Burj Dubai. Renaming it in honor of the ruler of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed, is seen as a down payment of gratitude. Last November, Dubai unexpectedly announced it was delaying repayment on nearly $60 billion of debt for its largest group, Dubai World. Abu Dhabi stepped in with a $10 billion bailout. Many hope the opening of the tower is a good omen.
Well, the message is very simple. The message is that, we build for tens of years to come. Crises come and go, and the world have gone through 2 years of difficult times. We must have hope and optimism that we must move on. And I think this is a message that, I hope that it's a beginning of gradual move forward.
But the building has received flack from various sectors. Human rights groups claim it used slave labor, workers who toiled round the clock for just $5 a day. Environmentalists criticize its power consumption, enough to melt 12,500 tons of ice a day. But none of this can overshadow the Emirates' pride. Indeed, Dubai is constantly going for the ultimate. It has the world's biggest shopping mall, the world's largest indoor ski resort, the world's most luxurious hotel, the world's ritziest racetrack, and the world's biggest artificial island. But behind all these honors is a harsh reality. The Burj Khalifa is the world's tallest tower, but it won't be the fullest. Over 1,000 residential units in the Burj have been sold. But those who bought with the intention of leasing will face a difficult time. This British couple began a new life in Dubai in 1991 when they bought a nice apartment in downtown. They've lived through property prices skyrocketing and diving.
Then that we got into Dubai's property market in the early stages. So we have a very nice apartment here, which we paid about 900,000 dirhams for, which in UK currency would be about 150,000 sterling. At its peak, about 18 months ago, it was worth probably 4 or 5 times that. And now, no one's really sure because there are a few people buying, because even if you have someone interested in your property, the banks have become so tight.
In Dubai, 90% of the 2 million people are expatriates. Experts estimate a drop of 10% of the population over 2009 to 2010 caused by the recession. This decrease would push the decline in property prices, which fell by half last year. Vacant villas and apartments now make up part of the landscape. A generation ago, this was little more than a small, isolated fishing village. Since then, it's boomed into a global financial and business hub. Dubai is not rich in oil. It had to borrow heavily to pay for its grand ambitions. and this ultimately turned the Emirates' coastline and skyline into headlines. The focus was on property investment and inflows of foreign capital. For a while, the Dubai economic model worked well. But the global financial crisis burst the bubble. And everything that Dubai stood for, overt displays of wealth and conspicuous consumption, fell dramatically. But some believe the crisis does not mean the emirate will sink in the desert sands.
Dubai will not be wiped off the map. It is a very important center and model for the rest of the Middle East. Its infrastructure is unique in the Middle East. It is a regional financial and tourist hub. The challenge is how to come out of the downturn by diversifying the economy and finding other levers of growth than real estate.
But it needs to actually create growth in its economy, it's create trust in its banking system, and it is need to reduce unemployment, and this will alleviate some of the pressure on the real estate sectors and some of the ramification of the financial crisis. I think Dubai is heading by doing that. Probably it would meet its short-term obligation.
Burj Khalifa stands tall. Is it a miracle or just a mirage in the desert? Critics are already dismissing the tower as a gaudy memorial to a lost decade of uncontrolled speculation. But many hope the tower represents a future for Dubai, where the sky's the limit.
Well, let's take a look at this amazing structure in a bit more detail, because the Burj Khalifa marks a new height for both Dubai and also the world. But both the ambitions and challenges of the Emirate are higher than any super skyscraper. Observers say it's not the end, but a new beginning. But with its real estate, tourism and finance industries all severely affected, the road to recovery will be long. With that, we come to the end of this edition of World Insight. As always, we'd love to hear from you. So send us your comments and suggestions to our email address, worldinsight@cctv.com. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for watching, and join us again at the same time next week for your insight on World Insight. I'm James Chan in Beijing. Goodbye. From Europe to the Americas, from Africa to the Asia Pacific. Each weekend from Beijing, we'll take you on a journey that looks back at the 7 days gone by. We'll tell you what, who, and why. For a new insight on World Insight.
Missed anything on air? Log on to CCTV's website, brought to you in 5 languages. Get the latest stories from around the world. Post your comments. Your feedback matters. Visit it now.
Chinese Vice Foreign Minister He Yafei urges the United States to halt the weapon sales to Taiwan. Winter weather brings planes, trains, and automobiles to halt across much of northern Europe.